Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to chat about the realistic side of being 19 and pregnant for the first time. As my pregnancy ends, I just want to talk about this subject because I have had quite a bit of negative experiences during my pregnancy, but also had a few goods. So I want to talk about the good, the bad, and just be really real with you guys about what happened, how people talked to me during my pregnancy, and all that. Okay, first we're going to talk about the negative and then we'll go into the positive. So, the first thing that I wanted to talk about, I have a little script, so if you see me looking around, it's because I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. The first thing that I was going to talk about for the negative side is not knowing much about when to leave for maternity leave. I feel like as a first time pregnant person, no one told me when should I go. People told me when they went during their pregnancy, and I feel like you should go when you feel like your body is too tired to work every day. I work full-time as a CNA, and obviously that's kind of an exhausting job on your body. So if you are feeling tired, maybe go from full-time to part-time, and if that's still tiring and exhausting for you, maybe it's time to go to maternity leave. Obviously everybody is different and people's bodies start hurting at different times. My body started really hurting around 8 months. But of course before that my legs were hurting, my feet were hurting, things were hurting, but it was getting bad at 8 months for me to do that. For those of you who do know, I worked 8.5 months full-time during my pregnancy, and now I have switched over to, I literally have 1 week left, and then actually I have a couple days, but I switched to part-time this week. Which, the days at work are still whew, I need to take a break, I need to sit down, my feet are hurting, my body's hurting, but it's better than being on it 9 days. I work 5 days instead during a pay period. So that's better because I still want to be making money, but also taking care of myself and relaxing on those days that I would have been working. Okay, so people questioning me, and I had no idea. Even as my pregnancy progressed, I was still I don't know when I'm going on maternity leave. Why you guys keep asking me? I don't know. My body was aching, but I kept being told if I left when I was asking for the first time, which was around 30 weeks, and the second time being around 34 weeks, that I'd have to come back shortly after the baby was born or go part-time. But as many of you know, my body is hard, or my job is hard on my body and getting more sore as the days progressed. So like I was saying, if you're feeling this way, I think that you should maybe, if you're full-time, go part-time, or if you're part-time, you can say, hey, I need another day off, or I need 2 days off because my body is hurting and I'm not ready to go on maternity leave yet, but I just need an extra day off. And if your team isn't really willing to allow that for you, I feel like that's a red flag. So I hope that your team, the people you work with, are willing to pick up your shifts at least, because you are about to go on maternity leave and you're about to have a baby. You need to prepare for that baby, and take care of yourself and your body for the baby. So that's the first one. And then the second negative thing that I had was lack of explanation from doctors or nurses or whatever was going on. Last week was the first week I had a really good nurse. She was super sweet. She was I was 19 or I was 18 when I had my first baby, and she was talking about, I think it's better when you have your kids young because then you can be more playful, when the parents are in their 30s and they're Mom, I want to go run around outside. And they're like, oh, I'm too tired. So I really liked her. It was the first time I ever had her during my whole pregnancy. I hope to see her more times before I have my baby. She was really sweet. The other girls, some of them are good, but some of them like to rush things and not explain everything to you. So it's a little bit confusing sometimes. So, doctors started asking me if I was experiencing braxton hicks around 20 weeks. Olive and Charlie. I had no clue what these were, and I was expecting like further explanation about what are braxton hicks because I've never been pregnant before. How on earth would I know what these are? I've never heard anyone talk about them before until I was pregnant. But instead, I had to Google what is a braxton hick. It's pretty much a fake contraction that prepares your body for what's going to happen later in your pregnancy / birthing experience. So, yeah. I was just expecting further explanation from doctors about pretty much most of the things that I was being told during my pregnancy. There's a bird flying outside. So it was a bit confusing sometimes and a bit frustrating because I would have to go outside of my doctor's and Google my doctor's appointments and Google things that I was being told. And one of the doctors was like, have you been told about this? We're supposed to tell you one time during your pregnancy at least. And I was like 33, 34 weeks. I can't remember, but I was just like, no. And he's like, okay, well, blah, 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 blah. And told it to me. And some doctors do better jobs at like telling and informing you about stuff than the other ones. So, there's that. Maybe I should have spoken up and asked questions, so I'm not going to fully blame it on the doctors, but I just feel like if it's your first pregnancy, obviously you're going to be shy around your doctors. You're going to be nervous and not know when to speak up, because those doctor's appointments go by quick. They are like blood pressure cuff, check your belly, your weight, and hear the baby's heartbeat. Done. Bye. See you next time. That's how quickly they go. So, that's that. Next up is the way people talk to you. People were telling me I was getting fat, being lazy, those different types of things, which I was working a full-time job. And coming home, cleaning, cooking when I needed, and it just doesn't make sense to me why people would feel the need to comment on whether I am lazy or fat. Of course I'm gaining weight. I'm growing a human, and maybe I'm gaining more weight than I should have gained during my pregnancy, but that is not something you comment about, because a pregnant woman already is feeling insecure, and we do not need other people telling us these things. Like, we already talk to ourselves that way. We do not need other people coming in and telling us. Okay, so like I was saying, I'm not really sure why people would want to degrade someone so much, especially a mom with a changing hormones and growing something so beautiful. But this was one of the hardest things for me during my pregnancy. I took everything people said to heart, and I know you shouldn't do that, but when people give me negative comments, I just think about them and then they become true to me. Like, the more that I think about them, the more that I am thinking about it, it just makes it seem real, and I drive myself nuts. So yeah, and this varies. My residents were calling me these things. People on my live streams, like, it wasn't just one person, it was many people, and it definitely affected me, I mean. And I want to say, like, people are like, oh, like, pregnancy is lonely and stuff like that, which it can be lonely, especially when people are talking to you like that. That makes you want to not go out in public. It makes you want to stay in your room or stay in your house by yourself. Like, if people are going to be calling me fat, I'm going to be like, ugh, I don't really want to go out and do that with you. Sorry. Anyways, next one is the weight gain and body changes. I knew that things were going to change as you are growing a human, but I didn't expect so much change. Like, I did not think I was going to gain this much weight. I began to get stretch marks, more fat on my legs, back, and face. As you guys can see, you can definitely tell that I've gotten puffy on my face. People were not nice about these changes either. Like I was saying, I don't know why people think that they have the right to talk to anybody that way, especially a woman who is growing a baby. Like, your hormones are all out of balance, and people are gonna talk to you like that. Gosh, they are lucky they don't get smacked. I'd have some people telling me I looked so cute, and other people telling me that I must be putting on weight, or straight up calling me fat. Somebody at my work literally said to me, "Oh, I couldn't see past your belly." I'm sorry, but my belly's not that big. You couldn't see a whole they said they couldn't see a whole person because of my belly. A person who is in a wheelchair. One of the long ones. Whatever. Okay, so let's get past the negative side and start talking about positives. So I have one big positive, which is the amount of support from family, friends, and coworkers. The people who weren't hating on me were loving me. And sometimes you just have to look at the positive side of things and appreciate what you do get rather than what you don't get. And it's harder to do when there's a bunch more negatives than positives, but sometimes you just gotta do it. And so I am so lucky to have a family, friends, coworkers that I have because of them. Many of them helped me with things I needed or wanted for my baby boy. Coworkers were trying to make my job easier as I got further along my pregnancy, and I am thankful for all the people in my life who helped support me throughout my pregnancy, because a little love and support goes a long way. And a little love and support goes a long way, and I got so much love and support, and it made me feel so much better about myself when the negative things were kind of like building up. The love that I was being shown just was better. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode.